Hello dear friends, so this being the second class, which is the after aprotanum we have to go with acetic acid. So again to say about acetic acid, chemically it is CH3COOH. So we have methane CH4 where one hydrogen atom is going to be replaced by a carboxylic acid group, that is your COOH group. Okay, so common name is glacial acetic acid and you have the formula CH3COOH. Okay, constitution you have adapted to pale lean persons with lax flabby muscles, face pale waxy. Now we have waxy appearance in acetic acid as well as ferrum. Also you have another remedy which shows waxy appearance, that is anasarca, skin pale waxy earth colored. Okay, so there you have arsal as the remedy, and again along with arsal we have acetic acid in its brackets. Okay, going forward, marasmus and other wasting diseases of children. So we have discussed abrotanum in the previous slide, the class. So yeah, again acetic acid also has this affinity for causing marasmus and all. So abrotanum, iodum, sanicula, tuberculum. So again your NSET was already discussed, and then you can again add to the other the 5 remedies are NSET, and then you can add on to other remedies such as acetic acid. Again we have emancipation in arsal again. So all these remedies you can add on to it. Okay. Physical generals, you have hemorrhage. Now being acetic acid group has a affinity for causing hemorrhage, a general tendency of burning, and profound prostration. So that being said, I think that should be applicable to acetic acid here. Okay, so hemorrhage from every mucous outlet, nose, throat, lungs, stomach, bowels, as well as uterus. Now in brackets you have ferrum, met as well as millefolium, metrorrhagia, and then you have vicarious. Okay, vicarious menstruation like. Also you have traumatic epistaxis, also seen in arnica. Okay, so in trauma we know it is arnica, and if it's a blow to the head and blow to the nose, and then you have a patient coming with epistaxis, you can obviously think of arnica, but along with that you also can add acetic acid to it. Okay, as we said, acid group has prostration, so here again comes great prostration, especially after injuries. Bracket is sulfuric acid, again another acid group. After surgical shock, after anesthetics. So in surgeries usually you give anesthesia, right? So you can think of a remedy that has ailments from anesthetics after surgical shock, and then has coming up with great prostration. So after surgery or after getting some anesthetics injected into the body, and then comes up with great prostration, you can think of acetic acid as the remedy. Thirst. Acid group has usually a good thirst. So again, thirst, intense burning, insatiable even for large quantities of water, especially in dropsy. So this being one of the key feature of acetic acid, that is thirst in dropsy, or dropsy with thirst is one of the most important symptom of acetic acid. In dropsy, yeah, definitely it has thirst. What are the other conditions? Diabetes, chronic diarrhea. But you have to note that there is no thirst in fever. So generally that is a characteristic symptom, because in fever, yes, you tend to have thirst. Okay, so here we are not showing that. Okay, so you have this trio of dropsy, that is epis, apocyanum as well as acetic acid, where in general you can say epis as the thirstless guy, and you have two other thirsty remedies, that is acetic acid as well as apocyanum. Acetic acid and apocyanum have dropsy with thirst, and Apis mellifica on the other hand is dropsy without thirst. Okay, in general Apis is not having thirst, but they have thirst during the chill. Okay, intermittent fever and chill, So at that time they have this thirst. Okay. Other symptom is cannot sleep lying on the back. So usually we say lying on back or towards the left side is better. So that particular you know task is very difficult for acetic acid. So lying on back is very difficult for him. What happens? Sensation of sinking in abdomen causing dyspnea. This is the sensation if an acetic acid person tries to sleep on his back. So obviously the opposite thing is rests better lying on belly. So he sleeps on his abdomen. Okay. So the same thing you can see in ammonium carb. Now cannot sleep lying on the back. So the opposite will be sleeps better on back. So who is that person? That is ourselves. Okay. So again to say in short, acetic acid has problem lying on his back. The opposite is sleeps better on back, which is seen in ourselves. Now he has problem lying on back. What happens is he has some kind of sinking sensation in the abdomen causing dyspnea. So to counteract this problem, he rests better on the belly. That means to sleeps on the abdomen. Again seen in ammonium carb. We know we have already seen this excessive thirst. Okay, insatiable thirst for large quantities of water. Then you have this traumatic epistaxis as well as better by lying on the abdomen. Those are the pictorial representations. In GIT, you have diarrhea. So we know in diarrhea, acetic acid has thirst. Copious. So the diarrhea is described as copious, exhausting. So here definitely if you have loss of fluids, you are going to have this prostration. Great thirst, which we again discussed. Diarrhea in dropsy. In typhoid. So typhoid is definitely having this stools, pea soup stools. Then you have phthisis, that is TB. So again, phthisis you have to remember why, because this remedy has profuse night sweats. Okay, so again, acetic acid is one of the remedy you can think in TB because it has this presentation with night sweats. Okay, night sweats. Female has the main thing is sour belching as well as vomiting of pregnancy, burning, water rash, and profuse salivation day and night. Okay, so day and night there is no difference for acetic acid female because they come up with profuse salivation as well as vomiting of the pregnancy. Okay, so we have a lot of remedies for vomiting in pregnancy. We are not going to discuss everything here, but in brackets, Allens have discussed. Lacaninum also have the same problem of profuse salivation as well as this vomiting of pregnancy. But if you see aggravation at night, that is your syphilitic remedy, that is Merck salt. Okay, so that being said, this is the wrap for female symptoms of acetic acid. Then you have respiratory symptoms like croup. So what is croup? It's a condition that is specifically seen in children. It's acute laryngotracheobronchitis. That is what we say nowadays. So croup has this hissing respiration. That means to say mostly it should be stridor. Okay, cough with inhalation. Okay, so during inhalation, acetic acid has problems. Okay, so this is worse during inhalation. Another remedy is being spongia, and especially it is indicated in the last stages. Okay, so again in croup, diphtheria, so many remedies again will be coming. So we will be discussing in the later on remedies because everything to be discussed at the first time will be difficult. So let's have a touch with other remedies, and then in some other remedy we will be bringing on all the comparisons. Alright. Inhalation of vapor of cider vinegar has been successfully used in croup and malignant diphtheria. So likewise, this is a remedy you have to think in diphtheria as well as croup. Okay. Again, cough, aggravation, inhalation. Okay. Cough, aggravation, inhalation. You have two remedies in keynotes, that is your acetic acid as well as spongia. Okay. So this is croup. This exactly being steeple sign that is seen in croup. So just to give a clinical touch, the diagram that you are seeing on the left side is known as steeple, and then in X-ray you are going to see steepled sign. Okay, so that's what you are going to see. Okay, narrowing of the trachea. And all right. In fever, you again have hectic fever, skin dry as well as hot, red spot on left cheek, okay, and drenching night sweats. So again, that comes with some, somewhat picture of TB again, and no thirst in fever. See, so generally this person is thirsty, but in fever he is thirstless. Okay. Coming to the last part, relations, it antidotes anesthetic vapors. So definitely you can think again it's a reinforcing statement that acetic acid has profound action against anesthetic vapors. Then you have fumes of charcoals and gas. It also antidotes opium as well as stramonium. Okay, cedar vinegar antidotes carbolic acid. Okay, so that is another important point. It follows well after cinchona in hemorrhage. So we know mucus from every mucus outlet, there is hemorrhage in acetic acid. So again, China being another important remedy in hemorrhage as well as shock, prostration. So acetic acid follows cinchona in hemorrhage. And another interesting point is acetic acid follows digitalis, in dropsy. So after digitalis, you can think of acetic acid in dropsy. Okay. It aggravates. So acetic acid shows a particular aggravation after these remedies. The symptoms of arnica, belladonna, laxative as well as Merck salt. If you are going to administer acetic acid after that, I think you should be seeing an aggravation, especially the headache from belladonna. So if you are going to see a belladonna patient, you give belladonna and then you are going to prescribe acetic acid, you are bound to see aggravation in that patient. Okay, so these are the relations. Family relations are important. Again, from an APCD point of view, relationship of remedies are one of the main region of question. So everything, I know it's a little hard on the students to study the relation exactly. It comes only after profound reading. Until then, you are not going to have a grasp on it. Okay, so keep the habit of reading. I have a few questions for it. Dropsy with thirst is seen in all except. So we have discussed dropsy with thirst. We have two remedies, that is apocynon as well as acetic acid. So the other guy is epismel. So the question is, dropsy with thirst is seen in all except. So dropsy with thirst is apocynon and acetic acid. The except guy should be epismel. So the answer here should be B. Okay, epis is thirstless, except in chill. Then you have cough worse on inhalation. Cough worse on inhalation is seen in. Okay, so the remedies that you are expecting here is spongia as well as acetic acid. So you have the option D here, both A and C, that is spongia as well as acetic acid. The other option given is aconite, where you are going to see cough worse on exhalation. It's not only aconite that is mentioned in keynotes, you also have causticum. So here the answer should be D. Okay, cough worse on inhalation is seen in both A as well as C. The A and C are spongia and acetic acid. The other option being aconite is cough aggravation exhalation, also seen in causticum. So choose the wrong pair. Okay, you have one cheek red and hot, the other being pale and cold. Okay, this is matched to chamomilla. Okay, again these are the remedies that you are going to see afterwards, but then since you have a left cheek showing red spot in acetic acid, which is again mentioned in the C option. So we know C option is true because we just discussed right now. Then you have A, that is one cheek red and hot, other is pale and cold, which is true for chamomilla. Homesickness with red cheeks and intense sleeplessness, that is a symptom of capsicum, which is again true. Okay, so the last option is circumscribed red cheeks, which is matched to veratrum album, which is wrong. That should be sanguinaria as well as stramonium. So here the answer should be D, which is the wrong pair. That is circumscribed red cheeks, which is matched to veratrum album, which is wrong. The veratrum album should be replaced by sanguinaria as well as stramonium. Okay, so I think that should be all about acetic acid.